Today's tutorial is about Edith, one of the most unique and versatile heroes in all of Mobile Legends. Her biggest strength lies in her exclusive transformation mechanic, which allows her to switch between a powerful tank form and a devastating marksman form. In her tank form, Edith boasts high durability, excellent initiation tools, and plenty of crowd control, making her capable of protecting allies and leading teamfights effectively. Once she activates her ultimate, however, she abandons her armor and transforms into a true destruction machine. In this form, her attacks deal massive area magic damage, allowing her to melt enemies during teamfights. On top of that, a significant portion of her damage is based on the target's HP, making her one of the best heroes for dealing with tanks and durable fighters. This combination of durability, crowd control, and explosive damage makes Edith an incredibly complete hero, capable of fulfilling multiple roles within the same match. If you want to master this hero and increase your chances of carrying games, you've come to the right place. In this video, I'll explain in a simple and straightforward way how her passive works, break down each of her abilities, show you the most effective combos, cover the best builds, and finally share some essential tips to take your gameplay with this powerful tank marksman to the next level. Passive. Whenever Edith uses an ability, her basic attacks become enhanced for 3 seconds. During this period, each attack releases electric chains that can hit up to 4 nearby enemies, dealing magic damage based on her magic power and 3% of the target's max HP. At higher skill levels, this damage can reach up to 6% of the target's max HP, making her passive extremely effective against tanks and durable fighters. Against minions, the chain damage is increased to 150%, significantly improving her wave-clearing ability and lane pressure. This is one of Edith's main sources of damage throughout the game and becomes even more important while her ultimate is active. You'll soon understand why. Skill 1. Edith slams the ground in front of her, dealing physical damage and knocking up all enemies hit. The skill's damage scales with 10% of her max HP, becoming stronger as she builds defensive items. During the animation, the skill can only be interrupted by suppression effects. It also deals increased damage to minions, making wave clearing even easier. This is an excellent tool for both lane trades and team fights, combining crowd control with surprisingly high damage for a defensive hero. Skill 2. Edith dashes in a designated direction, dealing physical damage to enemies hit. The damage scales with 3% of her max HP. If she collides with an enemy hero during the dash, she throws them over her shoulder, dealing additional physical damage that scales with 5% of her max HP. This is one of the most important abilities in her kit. Besides providing mobility, it is extremely effective for initiations, pickoffs, and repositioning enemies during fights. Ultimate. As you can see, Edith has a special bar below her HP that accumulates wrath whenever she takes damage. This resource plays a crucial role in how her ultimate works. When activated, Edith ejects herself from her Phylax armor, pushes away nearby enemies, and enters her combat form for up to 8 seconds. During this period, she gains access to new abilities and converts every point of additional physical defense and magic defense into magic power. For each point of extra defense, Edith gains 3.5 magic power. Additionally, her basic attacks become ranged magic attacks and scale with both her physical attack and magic power, turning her into a true DPS machine. The amount of wrath accumulated before transforming also directly affects the bonuses she receives. Depending on the amount of wrath stored, Edith can gain a shield equal to 5% to 20% of her max HP, 50% to 150% additional attack speed, and 5% to 20% hybrid lifesteal. The more wrath you accumulate before using your ultimate, the stronger your transformation becomes. Now let's take a look at how her abilities work in this form. Skill 1. Edith launches an attack at a selected area, dealing magic damage and applying a 30% slow to enemies hit. After the initial impact, the ability remains active for a short duration, continuously dealing magic damage to enemies within the area. This ability is excellent for zone control, area damage, and limiting enemy movement during team fights. Skill 2. Edith fires a projectile in a straight line, dealing magic damage and immobilizing the first enemy hit for a brief duration. Although simple, this ability has very long range and provides excellent utility during fights. Basically, this is how Edith's kit works. She starts fights as a tank, capable of initiating engagements and controlling enemies, but can quickly transform into a powerful damage dealer when she activates her ultimate. This duality is what makes her one of the most unique and dangerous heroes in Mobile Legends. Combos. Edith isn't exactly a hero that relies on complex combos, but that doesn't mean the order of her abilities doesn't matter. On the contrary, using her skills correctly can significantly increase her impact in fights and make both initiations and eliminations much more effective. Before reaching level 4, there are two simple and highly effective combinations you can use. The first is the most consistent option for quick trades and pickoffs. Start with Skill 2 to dash in and throw the enemy, immediately follow up with Skill 1 to apply the knockup, and then continue with your enhanced basic attacks. This sequence provides excellent crowd control while allowing you to fully take advantage of your passive. The second combo starts with Skill 1. As soon as the enemy is knocked into the air, quickly use Skill 2 to reposition them and extend the crowd control chain. Although it requires slightly better timing, it can be very effective in many situations. Another useful option is to combine your initiation with Flicker. This can catch enemies off guard and create unexpected engage opportunities for your team. Once you unlock your ultimate, Edith gains access to much stronger combinations. One of the most effective sequences is to start with Skill 2. Follow up with Skill 1 to maintain crowd control. Activate your ultimate to push enemies toward your team. Use the transformed Skill 2 to immobilize the target. Cast Skill 1 to apply a slow. And then finish with basic attacks while taking advantage of your increased attack range and damage. This combo provides an excellent balance of crowd control, damage, and utility, making Edith extremely dangerous during teamfights. Another very important aspect is passive management. During extended fights, you can keep your enhanced basic attacks active for almost the entire engagement. Since the passive remains active for 3 seconds after using any ability, avoid casting all your skills at once. By spacing your abilities out with short intervals, you can keep the electric chains active much longer and significantly increase your overall damage output. These are some of the most important combos and concepts for playing Edith. With a little practice, you'll realize that the secret to mastering this hero isn't executing difficult combinations, but knowing exactly when to engage, transform, and fully utilize the power of her kit. Build and emblems. Edith benefits tremendously from defensive items. Unlike most tanks, her durability doesn't just make her harder to kill, it also significantly increases her offensive potential. This is because her ultimate converts every point of additional physical defense and magic defense into magic power, allowing her to deal surprising amounts of damage while transformed. For this reason, choosing the right defensive equipment is extremely important. Dominance Ice is one of the best items for Edith. Besides providing a large amount of physical defense, it also grants additional defense when multiple enemies are nearby. This not only improves her survivability, but also increases the damage of her ultimate. Radiant Armor is another excellent option, especially against compositions with heavy magic damage. Its passive gradually increases magic defense as Edith takes damage, making her much harder to eliminate while further boosting the magic power gained during her transformation. Thunder Belt can also be a great choice depending on the enemy composition. In addition to providing valuable defensive stats, it grants extra movement speed, deals true damage through its passive, and offers permanent defense stacks throughout the match, strengthening both her durability and offensive potential. Although Edith works exceptionally well with defensive items, she can also make excellent use of certain offensive options. Feather of Heaven is probably the best offensive item for her. It provides attack speed, magic power, lifesteal, and additional magic damage on basic attacks, significantly increasing her damage output during her ultimate. Other offensive items that synergize very well with her kit include Divine Glaive, which improves her ability to penetrate magic defense, and Stellarium Scythe, which offers a strong combination of damage and scaling for the later stages of the game. As for emblems, the tank emblem is the best choice in most situations. It perfectly complements Edith's role and further enhances her ability to initiate fights and absorb damage. For talents, I recommend Swift or Firmness in the first slot, Festival of Blood in the second slot, and either Brave Smite or Killing Spree in the final slot. The best option will depend on the team compositions and your preferred playstyle. When it comes to battle spells, the most recommended choices are Flicker, Vengeance, and Inspire. These are some of the builds and setups I recommend the most, especially for players who are learning Edith or want to maximize her potential. Feel free to use them as a foundation or adapt them according to your playstyle and the needs of each match. Tips to improve your gameplay. Edith is an extremely powerful hero, but her true potential only becomes available once she unlocks her ultimate. Because of this, the first few minutes of the match require a more cautious approach, especially against heroes with a strong early game. Before reaching level 4, focus on maintaining a safe position and farming efficiently. Avoid extended trades against opponents who have an advantage in the early levels, and use your skill 1 to clear waves and poke whenever opportunities arise. Your skill 2 is an important mobility and repositioning tool, so avoid using it recklessly when you're far from your turret. If you miss the ability or engage unnecessarily, you'll become vulnerable and have very limited options to escape a counterattack. After reaching level 4, your dueling potential increases dramatically thanks to your ultimate. However, there's one important detail that many players overlook. The more wrath you accumulate before transforming, the stronger Edith becomes. Because of this, activating your ultimate immediately at the start of a fight is not always the best option. In many situations, waiting a few seconds to build more wrath can make a huge difference, increasing your shield, attack speed, and lifesteal while making your duels much more favorable. In teamfights, Edith becomes a true threat. Her passive allows her basic attacks to release electric chains that hit multiple enemies at once. Since her ultimate converts her additional defenses into magic power, the damage of these chains increases significantly during her transformation. For this reason, keeping your passive active as much as possible is one of the keys to dealing massive damage in teamfights. Another important point is that her transformed form isn't only useful for fighting. The constant damage from her basic attacks also makes Edith excellent at securing objectives, such as the Turtle and the Lord, while also allowing her to destroy turrets much more quickly. Her passive is also extremely effective for wave clearing. Since the electric chains deal increased damage to minions, using your abilities to keep your enhanced basic attacks active greatly improves lane clearing speed and map pressure. But don't forget one crucial detail. Despite all the damage she can deal, Edith is still a tank. From the mid-game onward, her primary role is to absorb damage, protect her carries, and serve as a frontline for her team. Her kit provides an excellent combination of durability, crowd control, and damage, allowing her to fulfill multiple roles within the same fight. A well-executed initiation with Skill 2 can completely catch enemies off guard and create perfect opportunities for your team to engage. However, be very careful when using this ability aggressively. If you miss your engage and fail to hit anyone, you'll likely end up in a dangerous position with little chance of survival. Mastering Edith is all about knowing exactly when to play like a tank and when to take advantage of her transformation to become a powerful damage dealer. Finding that balance is what separates average players from those who can truly unlock the hero's full potential. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep improving at Mobile Legends, feel free to check out the other content on the channel. We have a dedicated playlist featuring complete hero guides, covering everything from abilities and combos to builds, emblems, and advanced gameplay tips. If you're looking for something more specific, I've also created 5 separate playlists organized by role, making it easier to find guides for the heroes you actually play. Thank you very much for your support and for watching until the end. Your support means a lot and motivates me to keep creating more high-quality content for all of you. See you in the next video.